Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on a Tuesday night, or for some of you, it'll be Wednesday morning when you're watching this. Have you ever seen that movie, Red Dawn? It's the old 1984 classic. Some people call it a cult classic, but it's actually a pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it before, I definitely recommend you watch it. You can probably stream it free or watch it even possibly here on YouTube. But there's one scene, especially one line out of that movie that has really stuck with me a long time over these years, off and on. And I've been thinking about it a lot here lately with all this escalation going on in Eastern Europe between NATO and the West and Russia. And I'm going to link it. I'm linking this scene. It's just 2 minutes in the description of this video, so watch it. But there's one line in there where, and the scene really is centered around, if you remember, if you've seen it, the colonel that gets shot down and survives, he joins the insurgents, the Wolverines, the young guys who are fighting back. And he is telling them how the invasion started. And after he kind of explains it and gives the rundown, one of the kids asks him, well, how did all this get started? You know, what started all this? And he says, he has just two things. He says, I don't really know, maybe, two toughest kids on the block. Sooner or later, they're going to fight, meaning the United States and Russia. Now, this movie was made in 1984 now. And then, so when he says that, one of the other guys says, that's simple, huh? And the colonel responds and says, I don't know, maybe somebody just forgot what it was like. Maybe somebody just forgot what it was like. And I've been thinking about that, maybe I've been thinking about that line during the current conflict that's going on and how it could blow up into, and it looks like it's on track to go to get a lot bigger with a lot more countries involved here. Let's pray it doesn't, really. But anyway, I just had to mention that. Two things here I want to mention is that, and I've been reading a lot, of course, and one thing I don't think we're ready for, this country is not ready for, a lot of people are not ready for, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, is the retaliatory cyber attack / ransomware that will be coming, I believe, against us, against the West, probably Europe as well. Russia has a huge cyber attack capability. And there are a lot of target-rich environments within the United States, North America, for ransomware and cyber attacks. Do you remember, I can't remember exactly what, it was last year when the Colonial Pipeline was hit with a cyber attack, ransomware. Basically, it shut down the gasoline flow along the eastern corridor of the United States. And if you remember, I think it was around May or June. Anyway, remember what that did. I mean, it almost stopped everything. Just that one pipeline. Can you imagine if that was done now? In the midst of all this that's going on with the energy crisis, the oil at $130 a barrel. Imagine what the price would do then. What if several pipelines were affected all at one time? Can you imagine? So fuel, utilities, water, financial systems, power, your electricity, your communications, internet, all target-rich environments right now. From what I'm reading, a lot of that is very vulnerable right now. So I'm surprised it hadn't been hit yet. Pray it doesn't, of course. Pray it does not. But if it does, just think about 2 or 3 of those things getting hit all at one time. And it could be a sustained attack, not just a one thing, And then the other thing So prepare accordingly, of course, much as we can. The other thing is, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I read an article about how the current conflict over there, Eastern Europe, is affecting and threatening the world food supply. Europe and Africa and Asia rely on the vast fertile farmlands of the Black Sea region. Now, Ukraine, you've probably heard this before, is known as the breadbasket of the world. It also has it's rich in natural resources. So it's been the battleground of a lot of conflicts over the years, long time. But this current war it's causing the Ukrainian farmers to neglect their fields. So they're not being able to get their farms ready, their fields ready. You got ports that are shut down. You got wheat supplies. As far as wheat supplies, the price has surged 55% since the week before the invasion. If it goes on, then by summer, we could see a real shortfall globally. Now, in the United States, hard to tell how hard this will hit us. It will. Plus, you've got the ongoing thing. I know today, Russia said they were going to block exports all over to the West, the NATO countries. Oil and other things, raw materials. So add that to it. At the very least, we're going to continue seeing super inflation, super big inflation, gas and food, especially other raw materials as well. Keep going way up, y'all. It really will. We talk about gardening and trying to be self-sufficient. I believe if all this hits or one thing, or even if it doesn't, if we get more embroiled in this war directly, as far as in the fight, I think you could see food limits. I know some other people are talking about food rationing being a possibility. They'll probably call it something else other than rationing. They'll probably have some other term for it, maybe like limits. Grocery stores have limits on certain items almost all the time anyway, but this would be widespread. Okay. I can see that happening. I could see us getting to a point where we have to take extra steps to guard and protect our gardens. That was talked about some in the comments in the last couple of videos. Can you imagine having to defend the garden that is on your property? And I know somebody mentioned that that could be, the government could say that your garden is part of the public domain and that people can just be free to get it. I don't think so, pal. Not mine. No, not happening out here where I am. But yeah, you may need to think about a plan to protect what you are growing. Think defensively. Be hard to leave your property. But imagine saying that. Imagine us talking about that even just 2 years ago. Really? I mean, unfathomable, really, really. Okay. Share your thoughts on that. Those are the nuggets. Things I think about, Verse for the day is a short one, but it's a very good one. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 20 says, "She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy." No matter what we're going through, no matter what's going on, we still need to strive to do good, to help others that don't have as much as we do. Now, I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. Prepare, we're preppers. Take care of yourself first. Because if you're not straight and taken care of, you can't help others. But especially now, times are tough, they're going to get tougher, but we can't lose that spirit of doing what we can without depriving ourselves, of course, and our families, but doing what we can to help others where you can, where you're able to. All right. I think we are called to do that as well. Share your thoughts again. Be aware, be safe out there, keep stacking. God bless you. I will see you soon.